Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. Today's video is for my grandson Oliver. This is Oliver's hive, or at least that's how I like to describe it. Oliver did this wonderful mural on the side of this beehive. This is my Long Hive. It holds 32 Langstroth deep frames. I gave him a little bit of help in the painting. And these bees have been stocked in here for a number of weeks now. Actually, I struggled to get bees to take in this hive initially. I actually started with a nuke on the left and a nuke on the right, and both they killed the queen, and in both they failed to replace the queen. So then I did it again, and eventually I got one queen at 4 attempts. Now I doubt it has anything to do with the style of hive, but you never know, there might be something to it. But anyway, we have this hive going now. To say it's a Langstroth. Well, it's the last hive in the yard, in all of my yards, that needs treating for mites. We'll get my last remaining strips of hot guard. But let's have a look and see how things are going in here. The colony is built really, really well. Generally speaking, it's 1.5 inch wood. Underneath this, it's homosote. There's ½ inch of homosote, then 2 inches of insulation on the roof. We're using a bubble wrap inner cover. We'll just take the whole thing off right now for now. And I might fill up the rest of the space with a few frames as the cluster is getting bigger and bigger now. Let's use a little smoke. Keep everybody calm. Now, let's set myself up a little table to put the tripod on. Okay. Let's look inside and see what's happening. So the cluster is pretty much covering about 10 to 12 frames right now. I keep on adding when I have a spare frame from a nuke or something like that, spare frame when I'm consolidating bits and pieces. This tends to be my receiving hive, whether it's got a tiny bit of brood in it, a little bit of honey in it, or just plain foundation. So I'll try and get everything more and more organized in here. The bees, last time I was in here, developing a nice little pattern. Got some honey on the outside edges. One frame to one side. Not a great deal going on here yet. This is more or less, the entrance is directly down there. So these combs are actually not being occupied quite yet. Quite a bit of honey here. I'll put honey on the outside, right on the outside. Still lots of honey. Now the beauty of the hive of this style is so that you don't have to bend down over your hive. Everything is at a nice working height. We're getting into all the pollen here. We're starting to get into the pollen, which means we're just about to get into the brood nest itself. Here we are into some brood, some emerging brood, and some backfill larvae. So the queen has been back over here relaying. So that'll be 6 frames in, we've got some brood here. Nice bit of brood here. Yeah, so took them a while, but now we've got a queen doing the business in here. That's 2 frames of brood. 3 frames of brood. Hope you're watching this, Oliver. Oliver's coming to stay with me this week. So Oliver will be here tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow or the next day we can go into this beehive together and take some of this honey. Some of this lovely honey that you've got, Oliver. You do like honey, don't you? Yep. Lots of brood. Let's try it with the light coming from the different direction. Frames of brood. As this brood starts to emerge, it'll pretty much fill this hive. 6 frames of brood. Seventh frame, lots of pollen. More brood. And more pollen and honey here. It looks like we're mostly honey. Okay, very good. So they're building up honey here and here. So what we'll do, give them a bit more space. This is mostly foundation. get our mite treatments in. Now, the mite treatments are described for Langstroth hive, so we've got to improvise and interpret what they mean for, say, a Long Hive. So for every 5 frames of brood in the brood chamber, it wants us to put a mite strip in. Now, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this was all honey to that side of it, then we're into brood here and here. So this is going to go into the 2nd frame of brood. And this is going to go onto the 5th frame of brood. And the brood pretty much finishes here. And that's the key place to get your mite treatments in. So here we have Oliver's hive now treated for mites. We'll be back in here in a couple of weeks to treat them again. It's coming along nicely, but I would say there is a good 8 frames containing pretty much all honey. Not entirely filled, but it's possible that Oliver will be able to harvest a bit of honey soon. Just to show you how well thought out this hive was, my friend Mark Schneider made this hive. Even if we get any bees trapped up here, there's a route out as well. So it's been thought through pretty nicely. It's also got a nice non-slip rubber top, which doesn't get too hot, although it's dark. So it's like the rubberized top. It means it's a great work surface. Things don't slide off it, and don't necessarily get cooked on it either. So my mite treatments are done, and I'll be going around again in 10 days to 2 weeks. It's taken me about 4 days doing these treatments, and I will go around and put another dose of Hop Guard in the hives. But for right now, that's gone pretty well. Thank you, ladies. So that's going through my Long Hive, or Oliver's hive. We have added the mite treatments, had a look in there, and we're all set for Oliver to come and visit this week. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.